So you guys have seen a short cold start video, or I guess it was old start, not cold start. This is a 1957, I want to say, Chevrolet Corvette. Turbo hydromatic 350 3-speed automatic transmission. And this is more or less the original small block engine. It's a Gen 1. It's been bored over just a little bit in the 1970s, so it's 330 cubic inches. To my subscribers that have no idea what that means, it's about 4.7 liters as far as my math goes. This car is not mine, but I'm working on it. I put an electronic fan controller in it a few weeks ago, but the car doesn't run very well. It's actually a pretty small displacement engine considering how much carburation it has. An engine like this would be about right paired to one of these two Magneti Marelli carburetors. These are 4-barrel. I don't know the actual specifications on them, but they're plenty, and the car is just pig rich. It's probably running 7 or 8 to 1, maybe even richer AFR. So my plan was, in my proposal on this one, put fuel injection on it. There's companies, MSD makes it, Fast makes it, and then FI Tech also makes it. I ended up going with FI Tech because it's a little bit newer product. It's a little bit lower for the power goals. This car really doesn't make that much power. It's maybe 350 horsepower on a good day. It's got a pretty mild camshaft in it. So it's very streetable if it had adequate carburation. In order to do this, this is basically just a bolt-on for a 4-barrel carburetor intake manifold, which is, it looks like that underneath, which I'll get into a bit later. But you would have to run 2 of those setups, which doesn't work with the dual quads, which is what this is called. So I have to swap out the entire intake manifold, which on these not only does intake air, but also does some oil, and it does coolant. And being a Generation 1 small block, the oil fill is actually in the front. Oh, sorry. I gotta watch where I'm pointing. The oil fill is actually in the front of the intake manifold. So I had to buy also a set of valve covers because I need to be able to put oil into the engine. Generation 1 small blocks have this rectangular pattern. There's, I think, 3 or 4 different major patterns. But 1955 to 86 is about what you get here. So a pair of valve covers, I bought a new air cleaner for it just because if I'm going to take all this stuff off, I may as well leave it all together. It's vintage, cool stuff. It's very high quality. In order to do fuel injection, you need to upgrade the fuel system. So this is FI Tech's kind of a curated kit that comes with a pump, filter, lines, brackets, pretty much everything you need to do it. The big ticket on this car is going to be tapping in a return fuel line because carburetors are returnless. A lot of modern high-pressure fuel injection systems are as well, but the actual module, they sell a kit like this that's returnless, but the actual device that makes and regulates the pressure is big, and there's really no place to put it. Not to mention, this is a fiberglass body, so grounding things is very, very difficult. And it made sense. It gives us more future-proofing to run that second line. So that's the plan. I'm not going to get going on this today, but consider this a part 1, kind of a briefing of what's to come. So swap an intake manifold so we can put the single 4-barrel fuel injection module on it, running new EFI fuel lines and a new fuel pump. This system right here actually has a built-in fuel pump driver on it, which is really cool. And that's what she looks like. So you're like, wow, yeah, that looks like a carburetor. It sure does, but that's just 4 little throttle bodies, and it's designed to bolt on just like a carburetor. These kits are completely self-learning. Once you tell it basically what sort of engine you're running, it loads a timing map. You put your wideband oxygen sensor, which is right there, into the exhaust. I'm going to have to weld that in, of course. And then once it's heated up, you just drive the car around and it starts pulling fuel and adding fuel. And I think it even tweaks ignition maybe a little bit, but I bet that's pretty much, it sets it and forgets it. These are pretty predictable engines, these small blocks, as long as you have your base timing set with your distributor. pretty much good. So hopefully I don't have to grab a timing light and reconfirm anything. I think the timing's okay. But yeah, this is a completely off the beaten path, change of pace. It's not replacing any of my projects. This is just something I'm doing in addition. So anyway, I figured I'd show you guys since it's still cars and it's still interesting to me anyway. But I'll make sure to do segments along the way and let you know what I find about American stuff.